My name is Jeremy Craft. I'm the COO of Black Book Houston. Black Book Houston is the largest Black business directory here in Houston, Texas. We serve over 1,300 businesses by providing them with advertising, marketing, and just help get more eyes on their business. We also do different things through our nonprofit Black Book Empowerment, such as workshops to help develop those businesses so that they can strengthen their infrastructure, be more sustainable, and just help them gravitate and get to that next level.
Diversified Game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I need you guys to experience this podcast, but also jump quickly, especially if you're in the Houston area or want to go to the Houston area, because I went to this gala last year, and I tell you, Black Book Houston's gala was the best gala I have ever been to. Everything was organized from before you enter to get into the valet. Boom, it's easy. Just follow the line. Don't ask too many questions. They got you. Till when you go upside, check in, go up the gate, not the gate. What am I talking about? The red carpet with I thought the women are going to start flying. I thought they were going to be fairies, whatnot. But Jeremy and his wife, the Craft, put this gala together, and I was so happy to experience it, and I'm so happy that I'm going to have others experience this, including you who are listening to this podcast. So Jeremy, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my bro?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I had to, almost by guilt last night. But I said, man, I haven't got Jeremy to talk about this yet. So we got to track him down. And, I appreciate the time. Can you tell everybody, we'll get into the journey, but about the gala, talk about why you put the gala together, because the who's who of Houston, the who's who of Texas were in the house that night.
Absolutely. So my background is actually civil engineering. I did civil engineering for about 4.5 years before I quit my job to support my wife's vision in Black Book Houston to really take this thing to the next level. And one of the things in corporate America that, we always had was a Christmas party. So we had that end of the year Christmas party. And as we started Black Book Houston, we noticed that there really wasn't a space for Black businesses to come together and really celebrate amongst each other as like this big corporate Christmas party. So we decided that we were going to have a gala so that we can, one, highlight the different businesses who have been doing great throughout the year, as well as those individuals who support Black businesses and do things throughout the community. So we want to highlight and recognize them as well. So we said, hey, how about we do a gala and make it this really nice Christmas party kind of experience. So it's always at the end of the year. It's in December, that first week of December. We try to have it. We've already done two. This year will be our third one. And it's just a way to celebrate Black excellence. And then we also wanted to have Mayor Sylvester Turner, Sheila Jackson Lee, you know what I mean? Your who's who in Houston, but also those individuals and businesses that you may not hear about. So just bringing everybody in that room, no matter what level that you're at, so that you can experience Black excellence, so that you can see, hey, this is the vision of Black Booking, where we want to go and do great things and operate in excellence. That's one of our mottos, is operating in excellence. So everything that we do, we want to operate in excellence, and we just want to expose more people to that.
And you packed the house. How many people were at the gala total?
So we were supposed to have 300. 300 was the cutoff. But you know how people are. Hey, can you get some last minute tickets? Can you slide some people in? So we talked to our event planner, and we made some modifications to our setup so that it could be some standing room in there. But it was well over 300 people who attended. So yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, and while he says that, you guys, last night I told him I might need to be one of those last minute people too. So hey, as efficient as we try to be, and hook everybody else up, I said I just might be one of those. And if I can bring my wife, we're gonna get in where we fit in. Now, before, like when organizing this gala, what experience? Because a lot of people, and I'm not gonna call no names, I'm not even gonna call no cities, but I'll
Yeah.
just say I've done some galas near your city, and they're not all equal. You've been to some galas where
Right.
they're not all equal. What was the prerequisite? How did you guys learn how to put on such a great event?
So, like I said, working in corporate America, attending different events that, I've been to, um, in other communities and seeing how they operate in excellence, I wanted to uphold our community and our culture and operate in that same level of excellence and have that same standard. So just, seeing other people's galas and going to other people's galas, and it was like, man, they can improve here, they can improve there. And my wife, man, she's just so phenomenally creative just in life itself. So just bringing all of her ideas and her vision to life, me as her husband, that's something I take pride in. So I'm like, hey, baby, you just tell me what you want. I'm gonna go make it happen. I'm gonna improve, any area that I can, make improvements in, I'll definitely do that. And just having a strong team, I believe like when you ask questions and you go out and you experience different things, and you just get people's experiences like yourself, like you said, that you've been to other galas and there may have been some dissatisfaction in certain areas. So like for instance, when people complain about parking, I'm like, okay, we got to make sure that parking is efficient and effective. How do we get valet to make sure that once a person drops their car off at valet and they walk out of their car, they have an excellent experience from the minute that they step foot out of their car all the way to the end of the gala. So just, taking pride in operating in excellence. And then I tell my wife, I'm like, man, this is like planning a wedding every year. So, and one of the things my dad taught me is prior planning prevents piss poor performances. So just planning that thing out, like as soon as the second one was done, we already started planning for the third one. So, just taking pride in the planning process, not rushing it, not being last minute, and really taking pride in your work. So that's how we were able to um have an excellent gala, and that's how we plan to keep them going, keep operating at excellence.
And you guys, please rewind if you missed when he said team. Rewind when you missed if he said event planner, and that it takes a team to make a dream happen. Now, being a civil engineer, you guys can put stuff together and you're supposed to go from A to Z. How do you think that education and that career helps you, because you're dealing with so many personalities, not just the people who are coming to the party, but the people, the staff, the singers who were lovely. Oh, the singers were
Yeah.
so lovely. I mean, it was straight out of a movie. How does that help? Because a lot of people would not be able to like connect the two, but engineers, y'all think different.
Absolutely. So again, it's all in the planning process. Before you do anything as an engineer, you want to plan it out before you go into construction or any of that, right? Before you design any drawing, there's a planning meeting, there's a pre-planning meeting, right? So you gotta plan everything out. So I think my engineering expertise, being in corporate America, project management, project development, all of that played a role, a huge role. But ultimately, um, I can't move forward without giving credit to God, right? So when you put God first in all that you do, God's gonna give you the vision. All you have to do is stay in constant communication with God, and how you do that is through prayer. So just staying prayed up, praying about it, asking God to lead you and guide you, being a light into your path, a lamp into your feet, and a light into your path. So I said, hey God, this is what we want to do. Um, you know, he told me to go. I don't ask how. I let God figure out the how, and we just make it happen. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I think this is also a teachable moment for those who are online and they hear all day about, the negative of relationships. But Miss Rashika, I'm saying your wife's name
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You're saying it
Yeah,
correct. Mhm.
yeah. That this was something that you supported. And, if we listen to enough YouTube, hey, this was supposed to be your idea, and
Right.
she should have been, bowed down to, talk about the importance of having a great wife and where it can take you.
Man, having a great I tell my friends who are not married how it's been such a blessing, how marriage has been such a blessing to me and how it's helped elevate me, right, as a person. Um believe it or not, most people think that Black Book Houston is my business. When I did my intro, I told y'all I'm the COO. My wife is the CEO, right? She started this thing August of 2019. I was still working in corporate America. I didn't quit my job until November of 2019, which was a few months after she had started it, because I'm like, whoa, I see this amazing vision. But at the same time, I understand that in order for it to work, it's going to require me, helping her out. It's gonna require me to be there for her. And hey, I'm the head of the house, but I also know how to serve. I call myself all the time a servant leader, and that servant part comes first, right? And one of the greatest things that I can do as a husband is serve my wife. And so I'm always listening to her direction and letting her lead in that Black Book Houston space, but also allowing her to lead is also allowing me to listen to God and be able to lead from the back, right? So when I need to make an executive decision, although she is the CEO, I step in and make that decision. But just giving her that grace and giving her that opportunity to, be able to lead in that space, I think blesses our relationship. Because as just as submissive as she is to me, what I'm saying, at the house, I'm submissive to her and her, leading in her business. And it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because I know sometimes as men, we allow our egos and our pride to, get in front of us and kind of, because I'm speaking from my experience, right? I've allowed my pride and ego to get in the way of certain things and operations, and it goes bad. But when I step back and I let God take the lead and let God really speak through me and through us, everything works out how it's supposed to work out. And it's not to say that um trying times won't happen, because that's just life, right? You can't have a testimony without being tested, right? And I feel like pressure is a privilege. So when things, start coming your way, and you have this resistance, it's an opportunity for you to show how God has been working through you, and making moves through you.
Hello, everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London and Sydney go take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé Market to rainforest adventures. Every page na new discovery. Join the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book na true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores via Ingram's Park. Don't miss this adventure.
And Jeremy, I can hear the audience say, well, why didn't you get the wife and the husband together? Well, there's a reason. One, I have talked to Jeremy. I love Jeremy's spirit, so I had to get him, and we were overdue. Two, his wife, when she comes on here, needs her own time, because she too went to the Harvard of the South, like me and my wife. That's Grambling State University, y'all. So it might be a whole different type of interview where we talking some stuff that Jeremy saying, wait, I don't know that part of what pitchback. What, Martha Adams? Yeah, so it's gonna be a different interview. But
And we constantly working, man. As you can see in the background, I'm in my son's room right now. I just put him down for a nap. So, he wanted me to do the interview in here. He said, "Come in here and do it." He's like, "Don't leave me." So nah, me and my wife, we busy. She got a baby girl right now. But we do this full time. We full-time entrepreneurs, man. So, we make it happen. We make it happen. So yeah.
I love it. Let's get into some of the give back that you're doing. I always ask people what their community give back is, but this is a business wrapped up in a give back. So talk about, outside of the gala, the things that you've been able to impact businesses and just, throughout Houston and beyond.
Got you. So for the very first year of Black Book, we did everything for free. So it's free advertising, free marketing, however we can get, the spotlight on your business. In doing that, we built relationships, like personal relationships with business owners, and we could see the needs of the businesses. So one of the things that we noticed is a lot of businesses don't have that educational background within their business, right? So just because grandma can cook really good, that doesn't mean grandma can open up a restaurant. But we want to educate grandma so that she can be able to open up a restaurant, so that she knows how to get funding for her business. So one of the give backs that we do through our nonprofit Black Book Empowerment is we host workshops. We call them Urban Connect, and they're on Thursdays. They're on scheduled Thursdays. We do probably like once per quarter, where it's like free information. We bring in subject matter experts such as lawyers, um, credit repair, financial institutions, all of that to educate businesses on one, how to improve your marketing, how to establish a strong structure for your business, how do you get financing, how to obtain government contracts, just a whole lot of information. And it's all free. The resources are there for free. You just come sign up, register, and we take care of the cost to be able to, provide those services, to businesses and business owners or people who are interested in starting their own business, because we want to educate our people on how to make their business sustainable, how they can scale it, how they can grow it. Another thing that we've done is our annual turkey drive. So, every year we do a turkey drive where we get people to come in and sponsor, as well as, us, we put up our own money and dollars to be able to give back to the community during Thanksgiving. So the first year we did it, we probably gave away over 167 turkeys to families in need that was in Third Ward. The second year we did it in Acres Homes. We gave over 250 turkeys away. And that's just something we want to continue to do. We fed families who were in need. We found out, hey, there was a family in Acres Homes that was in need. They, 8 children just lost their mom. They were staying with grandma. So we went over there, fed the whole family. And we did it by purchasing all of the food from Esther's Cajun Cafe, a Black-owned business in the neighborhood. So it's like we want to recirculate all of the dollars within our community, continue to develop the economy, and just support our own, right? So we do that. We've volunteered at and had people come out and volunteer at the Beacon, which is a homeless shelter. We've done that 2 years in a row, where we've wash clothes for the homeless at the shelter, feed the homeless at the shelter, and things of that nature. Any way that we can give back to our community, whether it's through our efforts in providing services for free to help businesses continue to grow and develop, we do that. Whether it's feeding the homeless or the underserved communities, we've done that. We've spoken at schools to educate teens and adolescents about entrepreneurship, just any opportunity. Like if you have an opportunity for us to give back, where it's back to school drives, we've just been involved in a lot, however we can make a positive change in the community. That's what we're about.
Now, just for clarity, because I know on the website, even talking with the gala, there's also a donation button. Is it two different organizations, the nonprofit and the profit, or is it, how does that work?
So it is, right? So we established Black Book Houston first. And as we were doing all of these things, we were like, hey, we need to establish a nonprofit arm so that, we can do the work that we're doing more effectively and do it more organized with more structure. So it is two different entities. Black Book Empowerment, which is the 501c3, was established in October of last year. And we just hit the ground officially rolling last week. So now that it's official, like everything is official. We had our first board meeting, and we handled things and all of that. So yeah. If you click the donate button on Black Book Houston, and this is what I'll do, I'll make sure my wife updates that so that all of those donations can go to the nonprofit organization, and you could get a tax write-off. So
well, I was going there because with this gala, I'm like, wait, should I have just put the donation and try to slide it through? Totally, maybe messing up your books, right? but helping mine and telling the CPA, now it's a donation to a nonprofit.
Right.
But for those who are thinking of that, you see the way he laughed. don't do that. It's two different organizations. One thing is funding another. He'll let you know on the website if you could
Yeah,
do that. But that's where my mind was
right,
going and
absolutely.
flowing.
And you can actually do that. So if you would like to make a donation to the nonprofit and get that tax write-off to cover your gala ticket, that option is available as well. So
All right, Jeremy, might have started something because I can already hear my CPAs be like,
yeah.
let's
We
go.
got
But if
we
that
got us we got a surprise at this year's gala. I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but we got something big that we're doing at this year's gala. So yeah,
I believe it. I
yeah.
believe it because last year's was like, wow. It was wow and it was beautiful. And I think I came in just at the right time because my old friend from when I used to intern on the Hill, Sheila Jackson Lee, came up. And
Mm.
then, right during the mayor's race, and we know how it was kind of gonna go. Then Sylvester came up with all his security detail looking like Mayweather. And you're like, whoa. But for all the people that did come, and there were so many great people had great attitudes, they looked great. Can you talk about the support in the community? Because you and I, without saying any names, you really want to honor a lot of people, but there's people who they don't mind the honor, but they don't want to support. And that's something you and I was like, wait, you mean they had to buy a ticket to be honored? And you're like, yeah, because I don't necessarily need them. I like them. I want you to have people kind of go through that because that's kind of like the battle sometimes in our community. Yeah, I don't mind you giving me a hand up, but support you and pay. And it's not a cheap gala ticket, y'all. So before
Right.
you just say, I'm going to go take my whole mama and buy a table, this is not the club. This is not Live. You're going to pay a little bit of money. So talk about the thinking on that and the support that you have gotten, and if you need more in the community.
Got you. So, a lot of the support that we've gotten has been like people showing up and providing services for us. So, for instance, the Devonair Law Firm, right? The Devonair Law Collective is a law firm here in Houston that focuses on business law as well as other um I don't know the correct terminology, but they're like one of the partners when it comes to providing resources through that urban connect that I spoke about, earlier. They're the subject matter experts who come in and give you free guidance, you know what I mean, to structure a business. So in terms of support, it's a lot of support like that. However, um, it's not a lot of monetary support until you get to the gala, right? So our biggest like income that brings in the most income is our gala. So our gala is a fundraiser for us to continue to do the things that we do to be able to support the community. So when you see that ticket and you say, "Oh man, it's 275," or you gonna get that VIP ticket that's $300, right? That is one to cover the excellence of an experience that you're going to have at our gala because it's not like anybody else's gala, right? It's top notch. Everything from the quality of, like I said, valet to the food to your overall experience is going to be excellence. So it does require to pay for that. However, we're always looking for sponsors. If we were able to get the sponsors that some of these other galas get, then our honorees wouldn't have to pay for tickets, right? You're not paying to be honored because I'm gonna honor you for your excellence anyway, right? I want to honor you anyway, but you do have to pay because we're although we're the largest Black business directory, we don't have the support financially as if we're the largest Black business directory, right? And a lot of the things that we do throughout the year are at minimum cost to where it's like there's not a huge profit margin for us per se when it comes to the services that we're providing to you. And we set our business up that way on purpose because we want to be able to have effectively be able to give our resources to more people. I can bring up the profit margin, but I know it's going to eliminate a lot of people who are, just getting in business, you know what I mean, and who wouldn't be able to afford, what I mean, our services and things of that nature. But our gala is like a huge fundraiser for us. So anybody who's willing to support and we appreciate it. We've sold out the 2 years that we've done it. So, we've been happy and we've been satisfied with that. However, in terms of support and it just having like that financial, sponsors and corporate sponsors and things of that nature, we're always looking for that. We're always looking for that.
And just so it's very clear, because I think the community always has a ask and something that they want, whether it's from politicians or from organizations like yours. Are the chambers, are the National Minority Supplier Development Council that tells us all to get registered nationwide? Are any of the community development institution funds, supporting in any way? Because if not, that's something for us to, reach out to them on your behalf and say, hey, there's this great gala that helps year round. You guys, why aren't you a part of this? And especially when organizations have missed out on the Black community, in the last decade or maybe forever. And you guys want to seem like you're hip, right? And be in your dresses. They can buy tables. But is any of that going on with any of those organizations? Because Houston is rich, the city and the county and surrounding areas.
It's funny you say that. I'm not gonna name organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we first established Black Book in 2019, we began reaching out to, multiple of the organizations that you have mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna name specific organizations, but in the past, it was kind of like they viewed us as competition, right? So it wasn't a welcoming feeling at first. But now over the course of time, I just had a meeting with somebody last week who's actually interested in, joining and doing some collaborative efforts in the future. So it's funny you say that, but it's actually coming, right? And I just take it as, hey, we were a new organization, so people were kind of just being mindful of aligning themselves with us early on. But now I see those relationships starting to matriculate. I see them starting to, come into fruition. So I'm starting to see those things develop as we speak. I'm actually writing a proposal to somebody right now on how we can do some joint efforts together in terms of membership, in terms of events, initiatives, and just collaborations and workshops, throughout the year. So you're wise in saying that, Kellen. You're definitely wise in saying that, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad, and let's put the pressure on you guys. Email these organizations, rewind that back, hit up the LISC Houston, all these organizations that, and even your local governments that say, oh, you guys go get certified, get on that roster list and all that. Well, the roster list is at this party. This is the movers and the shakers and where you need to be. And, you can't buy hip. You can't buy swag. So y'all got it. Y'all got the pulse of the people. Yeah, we can throw a better event than you. Let's go. Because a lot of the galas, a lot of them are dull, dry. And it's just because the person doing it is over 65 and brought their over 65 friends. And, over 65, y'all put on a good party when you put on the minks, whatnot, and, Excaliburs. But when it's about being effective and really showing, hey, this is how you can follow these footsteps. And that's why I do this podcast. I want them to hear stories like yours, because then not one time have you said somebody gave me $1 million to get this going. You guys got it out the mud.
Got it out the mud.
Thank God. Thank God. So you guys can hear real stories, and you don't have to go to other shows that will tell you, hey man, we borrowed against our baby's 401k. How your baby get a 401k? Stick to burn your leisure with that type of game and info. But it's but yeah, that's, we giving real game with real people with real stories. I want you though to tackle in the finances when you do get this money, because you got pocket watchers in Houston. Oh man, they made so much money. I calculated how many people were in there, and some didn't even show up. how did you learn how to put your finances together so you can have another conference, and talk about any teams, whether it's a CPA, the bookkeepers, and just saving and investing in what you teach, because that's a big thing in our community that our folks want to be hard-headed and they don't want to listen.
Got you. So it just came from bumping our heads through multiple events, right? So again, I'm the type of person where I'll give you the shirt off my back, right? Without even thinking twice about it, because I want to see you win. I want to see you do well. And my wife had to come in and be like, no, 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 no. You know, we can't afford to do that, right? And she's the one who really said, hey, Jay, we got to start budgeting. We got to come up with a budget. So before every event, we come up with a budget of our projections, right? Of, you know, how much money we want to make, how much we want to give back to the community. We have line items for, all right, this is what we're going to give back. This is what we need to save over so that we can have the next one. And like you said, it's important to get with your CPA. It's important to create a budget and not just blindly go out here and spend money. For us, like you said, people try to calculate and count our dollars. I'll be real with you. The last two galas, we didn't make any money off of them. We didn't profit any of it, right? We were actually in the red in the first gala. The very first gala, we didn't have our 501c3 established or anything, right? And we still decided to give a business $5,000, right? That $5,000 that we gave to the business, that came out of our own personal account. You know what I mean? Because we didn't make any money for the gala. The second year around, as lovely as the venue was, that wasn't supposed to be the venue that we were at. That wasn't supposed to be the venue that we were supposed to be at. The venue that we were supposed to be at overbooked on that date and gave our date away to somebody else, right? So we had to, in crunch time, maybe like a month before the gala or 2 months before the gala, find a whole new venue, right? Luckily, we were able to find the Corinthian, but that venue alone cost us $50,000. So what we would have profited on and been able to pour back into the community, we had to eat that, right? We had to eat that cost, right? And that left us in the red, right? But ultimately, you know, God has been good to us. God has been blessing us to keep moving forward. And we just, you know, could continue to provide excellent service so people continue to, you know what I mean, utilize our services so that we're able to keep going. So, you know, I talked about God earlier, and I'll keep it short this time because you know Zoom cut us off last time. But I'll just say God continues to make a way. But you want to have your CPA, you want to have a team that's going to keep everything organized and and hold people accountable, right? Right. This isn't Black Book Houston isn't about the money for us. You know what I mean? We do need the money to continue to provide the resources that we're going to provide. We do need the support, but ultimately it's about serving our community, right? And when God gives you something that like this assignment that he gave to us, and I tell my wife this all the time, no matter what the bank account look like, it could be thousands of dollars in the bank account, or it could be pennies in the bank account. And I keep telling her like, hey, this is the assignment that God gave us. He gonna bless us and make a way for us to continue to do it, and we just keep going.
Hey, amen, amen. How frustrating does it get being in such a, I said rich earlier, Houston, but Houston is wealthy. And, you know, there's somebody who can write a check. There's somebody with the amounts of money that could help you. They have it in their mouth. Right. They got it on their neck. Right. Does it get frustrating seeing like all this wealth and knowing that what you're doing is bigger than you, and seeing how people will just, you know, waste money? I might be projecting my question. Don't have me answer the question because I'm not going to be as nice as Jeremy. But, you know, give us the game on that when you see that, because, you know, you got rims that stick out this long in Houston and all type of stuff. And it's like,
it does get frustrating. but I've learned what's for me is gonna be for me. So, it really does get frustrating. It does get frustrating to see when people can write a check. Or, man, look, I've seen, I just be real. I've seen people write checks to bullshit. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen organizations get funded, and it's like they're nowhere to be found now, right? I've
Mm-hmm.
seen businesses who talk a good game, they get the funding, and we get left out. I've seen people who know what we do and see how we positively affect the community, and they just look right over us and go to somebody else who don't have their shit together and give them the funding, and then they go blow the funding, and you don't see them or hear about them no more. You know what I mean? So we'll be doing this for like 5 years in August. I still think we're relatively new and upcoming company, but if I'm being real, we've surpassed a lot of people already, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting started. And the fact that we're doing it without that support, um, I just got a list. I got a list, Kellen.
Mm-hmm.
I call it my hit list.
Yeah.
I got a hit list. I just add people to that list, right? But
Yeah.
I also got a list of people who've been there since the beginning, people who continuously support, people who see the vision. You know what I mean? And I tend to focus more on that list, you know what I mean, more than anything. But that hit list, oh, trust me, that hit list is still there, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes when I need to go in that bad guy mode, when I need a little extra motivation, I turn to the hit list and be like, okay, this person looked over me. Okay, they went with that person instead of me. We was at this pitch competition and we didn't get selected, even though we had a better pitch than everybody else. Okay, you went with that person because that's your favorite. Oh, Houston got a lot of clicks. Oh, I'm not a part of that clique. So it's like, oh, okay, you showing favoritism to that people. Like I said, at my gala, you see everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I honor people that you had no idea that this is what they doing in the community. And it's like that on purpose because I feel like we've been the underdogs. So for us, it's like, hey, I'm gonna bring the top people in Houston for sure. Right. But that's not my main focus. I can those people get highlighted all the time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but that doesn't mean that I can't highlight you if you're operating in excellence. Just because you get all of the awards and you're the best in your field, that don't mean I'm gonna overlook you because you're your best and you always get awarded. Yeah, I'll give you your award too. However, there's a person over here that's just as great as you are. They just don't get the love and support like you're getting. So guess what? I'm gonna bring them in the room too, so that you can see their excellence. And hopefully, like Kellen is saying, you can see their excellence and say, you know what? I'm gonna write a check. I'm gonna write a check for them. Right? Hopefully you
Mm-hmm.
can see Black Book Houston excellence and say, you know what? I'm gonna write a check for Black Book.
You and I talked about, when we first were talking, and Black Book Houston is going to expand, and with that expansion, talk about the expansion, and is there any startup week that Black Book Houston does? Startup Week is like a nationwide thing. Every cities can do theirs and different times. The best one I've ever seen is in Seattle.
Oh,
Uh, it was just, if you needed money and you were there and you had half of a plan, folks were at least listening. And sometimes that's all we need is a listening ear and some advice. But talk about the expansion. And is there anything where there's going to be a startup week, especially for Black business, that we know does not get as much funding as white and Asian counterparts? There's a reason for that. You guys hit me up if you want to know, but you got to be ready. But, talk about, the expansion and if there is ever any startup week for Black business in Houston.
got you. So I can't speak on the startup week,
Mm-hmm.
but I will give you an exclusive. This is an exclusive. Kellen's getting an exclusive. We haven't we haven't we haven't announced this yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we're already in a few major cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're taking I call it the Uber approach, right? So when Uber launched, they didn't open up into like certain cities. Like Houston didn't get Uber until Uber had enough drivers registered, right? to say, okay, Uber's here in Houston, now you can utilize our services. So we're taking that approach and saying like, okay, let's get X amount of businesses in these cities before we announce Black Book Dallas, Black Book Atlanta, Black Book New Orleans, Black Book DMV. And I told you those cities' names because we actually have a presence in those cities right now, right?
Okay.
So we have over 1,300 businesses in Houston. We have close to 600 in Dallas. We have about 400 in Atlanta, and I want to say close to 200 in the DMV. So we're building our presence. We just haven't announced it yet, right?
Mm.
We just haven't announced it yet.
How
So
does somebody get on that list for all those cities? And can they raise their hand and say, look, hey, don't forget us about in Fargo, North Dakota. We got Black business here.
Check this
How
out.
do they make? Yeah.
They do that by going to DTHE official OFFICIAL. I hope I spelled that right. Blackbook.com. The official blackbook.com. Go to the official blackbook.com. Enter your zip code. Once you put your zip code in, it'll let you know if you're in the area that is already ready to serve customers. And if not, it'll add you to the wait list. So you could go ahead and fill out the information and be put on the wait list. So your business will be put in the wait list. And if you the more people you get to sign up in your city, the faster we'll come there. Right? So once we hit a certain threshold of businesses, a number of businesses, we'll make that huge announcement. Black Book Chicago, Black Book, wherever you are, so that people can be able to support the businesses in your community.
No, that's beautiful. And just, the links will be in the description, and they need to go to blackbook.com.
Yeah, blackbookhouston.com.
Black Book Houston.
But for what we just discussed, it's the official blackbook.com.
The official blackbook.com. So you guys check that out. And if you lobby for your area with that type of game, I don't want to give them too much because everybody has ADHD and they're trying to hear what Cat Williams or Charleston White said next. That's going to move the needle. Please give them any last words where they can connect with you without being a bothersome and try to slow you down, because everybody will want you personally and say, I need you, and it's like, wait, I got my own ship I'm steering. I can't steer your ship, especially for free $99 or for $500 a month. This time is worth more than that. But give them the game where they can find more information, tap in, tie in, be an asset, what they can do to help this movement grow.
Got you. So to connect with me personally and directly, you can always find me on LinkedIn. Jeremy Craft is my LinkedIn. You'll see this beautiful face of mine in a suit and tie with a little fro. But yeah, follow me on LinkedIn if you want to connect directly and personally with me. LinkedIn is the best way to get a hold of me in that regard. But for Black Book Houston, it's at Black Book Houston on all social media platforms. If you want to shoot us an email with any questions or just how you want to support, info@blackbookhouston.com is the email. But yeah, check out our website. If you're here in Houston, blackbookhouston.com. If you're abroad, somewhere else in the nation or even around the world, the official blackbook.com. Thank you so much, Kellen. I appreciate you for having me on. This has been awesome.
Man, I appreciate you for coming on, and I can't wait for when Kenya, South Africa, Sierra Leone hit you like, hey, we're ready, because you would say, wait, those are Black countries. But guess what? When the Lebanese and Sierra Leone are owning the majority of things, it's the same fight.
Yeah.
The same fight, and I love the Lebanese, good people, both sides. But, I just want to make sure our folks understand you gotta, fight for everything that you want and have. So I appreciate it. You guys, I appreciate y'all listening. I know most of you are listeners, but even go to the YouTube, check it out. We got some new things going on over there. You might learn something. Make sure you, comment wherever you are. Make sure you like wherever you are. But most importantly, make sure you share this game. It will change somebody's life. Y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.